Play that intro music.
Oh.
I forgot it.
No, you're doing it right. I was ending it early.
I lost it.
I ruined it too. I want to learn how to play that. I think that'd be pretty fun.
Yeah, you can do our royalty-free intro music, Noah.
I want to learn how to do
No,
the
I'm at the
Seinfeld
King of the
intro.
Hill. Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah, I'm Noah.
I'm June.
And I'm Jack.
Is that the order we usually do?
I don't think so. You want to try it again?
I think you always say it first. No, actually, no. It depends.
Is it you?
All right, I'll go first.
No,
then.
I always go last, it seems like.
I'm Noah.
Do you want to go first? Shake it up. I'm Jack.
Welcome back to Rogue's Nerdery.
Rogue's Nerdery.
Nogue's Verdery.
Oh boy. Nerds Roguery.
Well, welcome back. Oh yeah, bargain bin. Bargain bin. So that's yeah.
Wait, is this part 3 or 2?
This is
I mean,
part
no,
three.
I mean 4.
Is this?
Is this 4?
It
Wait,
might
I
be.
did Ubermosh into Zorch
Yep.
into what we're doing today.
Okay, so this is part
This is
3.
3.
I should know that.
This is 3.
It feels like more.
This is 3. I think I picked a real game.
Oh.
I mean, the other two were
An
real games as
epic
well.
Tetris.
bargain bin episode where Noah picks a real game.
Free, Zenless Zone Zero.
Zenless Zone
no, I'm
Zero.
kidding, I'm kidding.
Jeez.
I did.
Yeah, I picked Concord.
Oh, topical.
This was supposed to come out like a week ago.
Technically, Concord might come back as a free-to-play.
Yeah.
I can't imagine Sony wanting to just scrap it. I mean, they could. But...
I think it's done for.
Did you play it?
No, I didn't.
I was like, if anyone I know, Jack might have tried it, but I really doubt he did.
If it was free, maybe.
Yeah,
But
then they
no.
charge money for it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is it legal to drop a game for a week, charge people money, and then pull it?
The thing is, the email got sent out. They refunded everyone.
Yeah, they refunded everybody.
They said, we're giving you your money back. You don't have a choice. You just get it. You are going to receive your money back, and it will become unavailable on this date.
They did that with that fighting game from Warner Brothers. The one that I bought that I was showing you guys. Multiverses.
I thought that was
They
still
pulled
out.
it. Well, it was supposed. I mean, it said it was out, and then all of a sudden it was just not out.
They pulled
They'd
it,
re-released
right,
it
and then
again.
Oh.
I was playing it the other day. It's decent. I still like it.
I think it's fine.
I think all the stuff they made it more like battle passy, and it's just kind of weird. I don't like that, but I think the actual gameplay, I like it. We should play it sometime. I think
I'm not
they
good.
added the more players. I think for co-op.
Ooh,
That would be cool.
you could do 3-player co-op. That would be
I'm
pretty
pretty
good.
sure, but because I remember before they didn't have that, and it was lame.
I hate when a game makes me click through 3 menus after getting out of a match. It just it fills me with
that is
fury.
exactly that's what they did.
Give you the menus, but just immediately, separate from that, a queue again button.
Where it's like this
That way you
event's going on where you can get this many crystals of this nonsense and this and that, and it's like, or buy this and that. It's like, come on, let me just play the game.
Yeah. Also,
People are gonna...
Remember back when games were games?
Show, don't tell. You know what I mean? If you're playing against someone with some, shiny, sparkly stuff, and you go, I want some of that, and you're having a good time, you'll find your way to the loot boxes.
Yeah.
You absolutely will. Look at the original Overwatch.
Can I go on a little rant here?
Yeah.
I really feel like the glue between matches of multiplayer games has it's too much mortar, not enough brick, right? There's a lot of menus, and there's always requeuing, and there's always ranked systems. I really miss just having a list of lobbies, joining into a lobby, and if I like it, sticking around there for a couple of games, for a couple of hours, playing against the same people repeatedly, getting a feel for the people on my team and on the enemy team, maybe shuffle the teams up after every round, socialize a little bit. Just the lobby system instead of the like queuing system.
Yeah, that's called Halo 3.
I think
It's called every multiplayer game.
That's
of, like,
the last time I remember
the
actually
previous
doing
era.
something like that.
versus like the socializing part of it, which I guess could happen.
Mm-hmm.
I think For Honor kind of does that.
Yeah, For Honor does that.
For Honor,
No.
free on PlayStation.
You don't get to choose the server, but
Yeah.
You know,
well, I
people
don't
stick
know.
around.
For Honor's got a weird culture where, like,
It's
if
very
you
true.
lose a match, you usually just, like, all leave.
yeah, well,
And then you do get to stick around with, like, your teammates that stuck around if they liked playing with you, and other people will join in. And so For Honor kind of works pretty well. You don't end up feeling like you're sticking in the same lobby with the same people, and, like, the only game mode that's played is Dominion, so it doesn't really matter as much in For Honor. I feel it in, like, Halo Infinite. I wish I could join
I can't play.
a
I think the
capture the
gameplay's
flag
bad.
lobby and just stick in that one lobby for the next couple of hours and never have to see a menu besides the, like, loading next match menu.
I think a lot of games would have to change structurally in a lot of ways to have that, because I think that that was a selling point of the multiplayer at one point. Not like, I guess, a selling point, but that was to be expected and necessary. And now it's like you just want to get in game fast.
But you're
Get
not
to the
getting in
next
game
match.
fast. It takes more time.
It's true. I mean, I would love if like Fortnite and Valorant maybe, and I don't know, some other bigger games.
It's like the
had-
timer's up now and it's going, like, finding 10 players for you to go up against. It's like I just had 10 players to go up against. Put me up against them again.
like a pre and post match lobby.
Like, I feel like an old man right now shouting about this, but I don't know.
It's
Yeah,
It's irritating. It irritates me.
all that AI
a choice to
matchmaking.
stay in the lobby, same lobby,
Yeah.
I guess.
Oh, you're back.
As, like, a default, so people actually choose it. Frauder might actually have the correct answer here now that I think about this. Because if a game is close, people do tend to just kind of stick around in that lobby.
Yeah,
It's just For Honor has the problem of, like, you get so much more XP to, like, work towards getting more rep on your character by winning a match than losing a match, that if you're in a bad team, you usually don't want to stick around in a lobby.
yeah.
If they shuffled teams correctly after every match, it wouldn't be like that, I don't think.
I guess I don't really play that many like online games anymore.
It's probably got something to do with, like, a shift towards better matchmaking systems now that I think about it.
What about the new Valve game?
I have not looked at Deadlock, like, at all. Once it comes out, I'll give it a shot.
I haven't looked at it. I don't really play like Half-Life or anything like that, so
Well, it's not like that.
I know it's not, but
a hero shooter.
you know, it's just
But
it's a Valve game.
I like hero shooters. I don't like how the characters in this one are animated. It gives me Paladin's feelings.
It looks different than Palette. Close, but different.
Okay.
It kind of gives me Hello Neighbor vibes.
What?
Yeah,
Why?
just stylistically.
Hmm.
I saw a video of someone saying like, oh look, if you click on this one and like info, it gives like a little like flavor text about characters, right? And they're like, all these characters have like, you know, in depth, blah blah blah, whatever. This one though, I don't know, it's just like a dude. The only flavor text for the whole character is just like the character's name is an asshole. Like, that's it. That's the only like text they
I
give
do
him.
kind of love that. I'm turned away by the idea. Like, I like hero shooters. I have not been hit by the, like, hero shooter exhaustion that, like, everybody's been hit by, right? But
But then you see Concord and you go, I'm not
Or is that
playing
like Overwatch?
it's
Hero
sort of.
shooters?
But the thing is, it's third person, and I don't feel that. I don't.
Well, Overwatch counts as a hero shooter, yeah. Deadlock is third person.
Yeah, I'm not here for the third person hero shooter thing. I like having a first person perspective on all of the shots I'm taking and all the abilities I'm
Like
placing.
Apex.
I've never played Apex. You'd think
I think I
would,
like
because
third person
Titanfall.
better.
Really?
I'm a big third person fan.
And then like, you know, if you aim first person, but I like moving around third person.
Third person
Fortnite
gives the
does that.
benefit of you've got more
Like
awareness
Fortnite.
because you can see where the projectiles are hitting you from very clearly. But
Sometimes.
I feel like the awareness is something that you can learn in a game. So I'd rather just have the benefit of the precision of first person.
Yeah.
I want to go for headshots.
As long as it's not a MOBA, I'm fine. Except for Smite. Except for Smite. Yeah, part 2. Hey, Jack,
Bargain bin, part 3.
Part 3.
Bargain bit. What game did you choose for bargain bin?
Do you want to go
Well.
first, Jack?
I just want to know. I'm dying to hear.
All right. Let's all say our game at the same time.
Okay. Wait, on go or on 1?
On 1.
Okay. 3, 2,
1.
post war.
Hylics.
Musashi versus Cthulhu. I thought we were going to say 1 first.
Oh. Oh, I did that wrong.
Yeah, I picked Musashi versus Cthulhu.
That is a sick name.
It is a sick name.
First, do you
What
like
was your
Cthulhu?
game again?
Post Void.
Post Void.
Posting Void on main.
It's a roguelike boomer shooter.
I did Hylics. It is a interesting little RPG maker. It's an RPG.
Who wants to go first?
What is this? This looks okay.
Wait, don't look it up yet.
I looked at it.
How dare you?
I looked at it.
Dare you,
How dare you?
Jamie?
Sorry.
Can we put that away?
Erase his memory.
Jamie, can we put our phones in the phone basket?
I was just looking up a bunch of stuff earlier at the request of other people at this table.
You mean that was Jamie?
Yes.
Traditionally, Noah goes first.
Do you want me to go first?
So, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll go first.
I could go first. I feel like
Oh.
mine, I don't know. It won't be that long. Or maybe it will.
We can make June go
Maybe it
first.
won't.
Oh god,
That'd really shake things
that
up.
would really fuck with things. Yeah, I'll go really short this time.
I mean, usually you go long. You don't have to go short.
I think I'm gonna go shorter than I usually do.
I'm gonna go longer than I usually. Well, maybe not.
I'm going to go middle. Alright, so I chose Musashi versus Cthulhu. Where you play as Miyamoto Musashi, the famous samurai from Legend. Famous for...
I've never heard.
Well,
Wait, is he actually famous?
I'm sure you
Yeah.
have, you just don't know.
Oh,
He's referenced in a lot of media.
okay.
He's like undefeated in like 60-something duels.
Oh hey, isn't that guy in Baki?
He's also famous for using 2 swords. He also used like 1 long sword and 1 short sword to like confuse people. He's pretty famous. You probably may have heard of him. I don't know. When I was watching the Onimusha anime, I think the main character was supposed to be him.
Okay. Anyways,
So yeah, the game is pretty cool. You're obviously fighting demons and stuff, but I didn't know when I bought it that so basically the game, you start in, your character is like in the middle, Musashi, right? And you've got the 2 swords. And so you can't move. And so the enemies are coming from the left and from the right. And you have to hit them, and like every enemy has like a weak spot. And so it's either, if they're on the right, it's triangle, square, or X to hit them, or up, right, and down to hit the enemies on the left. So it's kind of like a rhythm game in a way,
okay.
which makes it sound terrible, but
No, that
I
sounds
think it's pretty fun.
fucking awesome.
I like rhythm games.
And so it starts off, it's easy. It's like hit this guy in the head, hit this guy in the leg. Then there's like bugs that fly at you, and then there's like fishermen because it's Cthulhu.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're just going up against like a nonstop like onslaught of enemies.
Is
And
it
then-
is it 2D?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's really good art design though. I really like the art style. It gets pretty challenging. It starts going fast. It's a lot to keep up with, and they don't really explain like there's certain enemies that you have to like figure out how to kill them properly. And
Do you like die if one of them reaches you?
you get like 3 hits, and then you also build up this meter that will like negate a hit for you.
Okay. So like every 10 successful things, you get like a free hit.
It might be more than 10. I think it depends on how far you get into it, but
Are there just like levels, or are you getting from start to finish?
it's start to finish. It's essentially like, whoever they have a high score thing to track online, so
Oh.
yeah, it's
Okay.
always the same every time you play, and you just go as long as you can.
Is it like a rhythm game where you've got like perfect hits?
I love that.
No, there's no perfect hits, but if you try to hit like too soon, you'll mess up and then you'll get hit. So you have to
Keep
make sure
swinging
you
again
don't go too
immediately
fast.
whenever you land a hit.
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool.
yeah.
Cool. 2 swords.
He's got the 2 swords, so it looks cool to like watch, because he's like doing moves and stuff. You're just like pressing the buttons, but
I always find that I can't like watch the animations when I'm playing a game like that because there's so much focus required.
yeah, there is. But when it's slower, you can kind of watch it. Once it gets fast, it's like you have to like go into like a zone.
Yeah, I'm not looking at anything when I do stuff like that.
Yeah, I tried to get the high score. I had like the high score of the month.
Oh, nice.
For a little,
Damn.
but not the highest score of all time.
Did you
But I was
place on the
I was
leaderboard?
playing every single day for like a month.
Oh,
I
shit.
love that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then once I moved, I stopped playing as much. But I think the highest score I got was like 3,000 something.
All right, I'm gonna go and try and beat it.
You should.
Fuck yeah.
But it's like exactly $5.
What did you play it on?
PlayStation.
Okay.
Is that $5 with tax?
It's on everything though.
It's on everything?
No, not $5 with tax. $5 without tax. It's on everything. It's a pretty low key game. I don't think a lot of people know about it, but it's just nice to just play it when you have nothing else to do and try to get the high score.
It's fair. That feels similar to mine. Only that vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The like. Also, if tax is going to be a thing, I might have also went over because mine was $4.99.
Don't
Mine
worry
was
about
like
tax. We're not talking about
3,
taxes.
so-
Okay.
Taxes. We're talking about taxes.
Taxes?
Steam cannot make me pay taxes.
Big old stupid taxes. The stars at
That's
night.
basically everything. There's just like trophies for killing certain amounts of enemies, certain types, but yeah, there's like the fishmen. There's like the regular like zombie kind of looking dudes. They eventually like they have more than one spot to hit, and then the bigger guys you have to hit the same spot like twice.
Oh.
And then there's like
is
these,
it the same button? If it's like triangle, do you have to go like triangle, triangle? Or will it be,
Yeah,
like,
but you're
different
like-
ones like triangle X?
you're like, circle left, up, down, triangle, triangle, circle, circle, XX. But you can
Oh.
like if someone has head like middle and leg, you can hit in any order you want. But if you gotta like get a flow, or else your brain's gonna get confused, and you're gonna end up like hitting the same spot too many times, and then you're vulnerable to be attacked.
What's the sound design in this game like? Because I can imagine this has to
The
be
sound
really
is
funky.
like
Can I look at it?
sure, yeah. Now you can
Yeah.
look at it. It's just more like it's like a I don't know. It's kind of what you would expect. It doesn't have like a playlist.
Mm.
But I like to play Call of Cthulhu by Metallica when I play it. Because I know that if I make it through the whole song, then I probably am getting like a high score, because you'll be playing like for close to. I don't know. If you're not going for at least 5 minutes, your score is not like one of the highest scores. Like I think the highest score in the game of all time is like 50,000.
This almost reminds me of Darkest Dungeon type style art.
A little
Which I
bit.
do love.
Sick.
And then I haven't seen Cthulhu in a long time, maybe because I'm too good. But Cthulhu usually comes out like when you're on your last life, and he's just like standing in the background.
Oh.
I think the tagline of the game is like you can't kill Cthulhu, but you can like hold off the horde for as long as possible, something like that.
Okay.
So that's kind of like there's no story really besides that. You're just Musashi and you're holding off the Cthulhu horde.
It's on Switch.
Looks like it.
Whoa. So is Disco Elysium.
Yeah, check out our Disco Elysium episode.
Yeah, honestly, please do. Or just play the game.
Yeah, I think that's really. There's like a dog that like portals in, and it like.
Can you pet it?
No.
Oh.
Damn.
It's probably the hardest enemy in the game
You
because
pet it with your sword.
you just see like lightning bolts appear, and you have to like hit all the lightning bolts before it comes out and like attacks you and phases back out.
Oh.
Does it take all your health or just one?
It takes one, but when I was first starting out, I could not kill it. It took me a long time to like get the skill.
Mm-hmm.
I recommend everyone buy it. I'm trying to beat my score. Beat the high score.
Do you know if the scoreboard is cross-platform?
I believe so,
All right.
but I could be wrong.
Really?
But I'm pretty sure it is.
Interesting. I'm adding it on Steam right now.
Play it. It's $5. It's
Would you got rating? Would you rate it? If you
Oh.
would, what would you rate it?
I rate it. I mean, for what it is, 10 out of 10.
Oh, okay.
But I wish there was more. So, yeah. If everyone buys it, maybe they'll make some more.
Mm.
It might be cool to do like I mean, it's just so simple and so perfect because it's so simple. But maybe if they added like different characters or something, who knows? Maybe some more enemy types. It's already hard enough though, the way that it is.
What they could do is what rhythm games do, which is like release more like you said it follows like a preset path of things that happen.
Well, the enemies are randomized.
Oh,
it's just certain enemies don't come out until you reach like a certain threshold of like points.
They could create
So like you don't know exactly what's going to come next, but you know that like when you're at a low score, you're not going to see certain enemies until you get higher.
They could create challenge mode where it follows a preset path so you can memorize it, but it's a much more difficult like set of enemies. Like the order of enemies is mean.
Or a party mode
Or party
where
mode.
you have to memorize the pattern and then do it.
Or everybody's
Blind.
a different different move.
Or a VR mode.
Or multiplayer
Oh my
mode.
god, if there was a VR game like that, that'd be cool. Although it would be kind of like Beat Saber, but this is more better. It wouldn't be like Beat Saber, I
Interesting.
lied.
I mean, if they did it like Beat Saber,
When you tell people it's
that
like a
could be
rhythm
cool.
game, but it's not, it confuses them.
How do you do VR if you have to attack on both sides of you?
Does it have
You gotta
music
look.
that it goes along
That would
to?
be more intimidating. It's just the same track.
Okay, but does it line up with the moves?
No, it's not a rhythm game. It just
So it's
if you rip it off, like its skeleton reminds me of a rhythm game.
okay,
But
so like
it's not a rhythm game necessarily.
okay,
That's just how I think of it. Because you have to be like, you know,
That's
this,
fair.
this, you know. It's never stopping, so it's like
I think that's interesting. There's a bunch of cool mechanics well, maybe not cool mechanics, but I like the idea of that sort of gameplay removed from the soundtrack going along to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think there are some games that couldn't stand to do that if you took away the music. You know?
It's not a rhythm game. It just
So then what's the game
feels
part of it?
to me like because your character can't move, so you're standing there, you're waiting for the stuff to come at you, which is what essentially a rhythm game does.
Yeah.
But
I guess what I'm saying is like a lot of rhythm games, even though that's like the mechanics that are used in it, if you just took away the music from it, I don't think they would be as interesting. So I do think it's cool that a game can do that without relying on that aspect of it.
Yeah, because it's you killing cool monsters as a cool samurai.
I'm going to play it. I don't know if I'll get
play it.
up to 3,000, but I'm going to try.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. 10 out of 10.
10 out of
10 out of
10.
10?
10 out of 10.
And then we combine all the scores and then we rate our bargain bin. $15. Oh no, yours is cheaper.
Yeah,
do you
mine's
want to
like
go or do you want me to
3.
go?
I could go next.
Okay, yeah.
Alright, I played Hylics 1. Now, I haven't played 2 yet, but I've heard that 2 is much better.
Is that your next one?
Hylics, is that like Helix, but with an I?
Hylics.
Oh.
So,
Hylics. Is that like... Never mind, go ahead.
Hylics is a RPG Maker game. So it's about what you can imagine off the top of your head. But the way that,
It does not look like it. It does not look like it.
The way that it, adapts and makes itself interesting is by creating a completely incomprehensible world.
Like, stylistically is insane to look at.
So here's what you gotta realize about Hylics. Everything in it, every animation, every background, every enemy, was designed with claymation. The creator would go in and create little clay models and move them around as needed to create the animations for it. And everything moves wildly as a result. All the attacks are usually like the creator's hands going in front of a camera and doing something weird with a little piece of clay. And then just blows the guy that you're looking at up. You do normal RPG combat of just looking at a screen of a couple of enemies and selecting what abilities you want to use or selecting to flee or use an item. But all of your context of how you think the world should work is just twisted on its head. The projectiles you throw at enemies are like frozen food, like frozen burritos. But if you stick them in microwave, they become healing items that you can use to resurrect allies that have fallen. All of your allies have nonsensical journeys that they're on. One of them is a guy that's got this obsession around ancient artifacts, but the ancient artifacts are these little paper cups. And he teaches you how to put the paper cups into water dispensers. It allows you to upgrade your party every time you find a water dispenser in the world. So very nonsensical. One of the characters she's just the bug person, and if she eats a bug, she gets permanently stronger. So every time that you've seen bugs in the world, you go back there once you find her and you have her eat the bugs.
Oh, I know something like that.
You get a really strong party member. So all the party members have something in the world that you're looking out for, and except for one of them, but he kind of sucks, honestly. He just allows you to go in areas that have these red skulls without dying to them immediately, but you can usually just kind of sneak past the red skulls anyways. Anyway, so what I'm trying to impart on you, the listener, is this game doesn't make sense, and that's part of the world.
It's very wild.
Can I also say that
looking.
You said just picture your average RPG Maker game. That's what it looks like. That is not true at all.
No, I mean mechanically.
Sure.
Because you're walking around on you're walking around on a tile set, right?
When you say that, though, it makes you
the
think
tiles
of
are made
a
of
little
clay.
JRPG looking kind of thing. This is
This is a JRPG, but with completely different visuals.
The visual, it screams almost like a 90s.
It reminds me
or
of
maybe
Troika.
an 80s point and click. That's
It
a
is
good.
very Troika.
Yeah, grainy photographic elements used sometimes.
I'd say trippy.
Trippy virtual.
is some of the most interesting mixed media that I have sunk my teeth into.
It's hard to describe. Any viewers out there, if you should just probably Google it, Hylics, and look at it. It is very cool to look at.
Your characters walk around by just kind of flailing wildly in a direction. It's great.
So when the creator's hands do that thing, is
Yeah.
that meant to be like a first-person view?
Yeah, it's
of
first-person
the character's
view
attack?
of you doing something. So, like,
Okay.
when you're consuming a, like, hot dog or something to heal yourself, the hands, like, come out holding a clay hot dog in front of your camera, and then, like, the hot dog just kind of gets torn to pieces in front of your camera, and then it's eaten.
I think you sent me a gif of this.
Yeah. I think the funniest one is when you throw dynamite at an enemy. It just kind of cuts out to the clip of the like house being destroyed in the nuclear testing, just in like a grainier version of itself with all the color washed out, and it cuts back to the enemies taking damage. It's great. It's almost like a summon, but with like, yeah. Anyway, so you never really learn why you're in the world or doing what you're doing, but you can make assumptions. Looking at the wiki, what it says is that, like, the final boss when you kill it. Oh, yeah, that's the GIF. So the wiki says the final boss is, like, putting this curse onto the world where they can only speak in gibberish. That, like, nothing they say can be comprehensible anymore. And it means it. Because every time that you talk to people, it's using English words, but not quite correctly. It feels like when you use a thesaurus to, like, swap a word out for another word, in, like, literally the words are synonyms. But in that sentence, the word can't really replace the other one because the sentence stops functioning. So every sentence has, like, the correct number of words, and some might even be grammatically correct, but none of them, like, make any sense whatsoever. It's like you've unlearned the English language when you're playing this game.
Ooh.
Because they're all speaking in words that vaguely have definitions that you know.
It says Wayne uses tube steak.
Yeah, Wayne's your main character.
Also, look at that background. Like, that makes me ill.
Some of the backgrounds are really cool. There's like a background that's just like a picture the person took of a parking lot that's just swirling. Yeah, I fucking love it.
Just that movie.
But enemies on it. Yeah. Anyways, so you wake up in your home. You don't know like why you're there or what you're heading out to do. You're just heading out into the world, presumably just to kill the final boss. So it's get there however you can, right? In exploring, you find the bad city that is just like full of shopkeepers, and this will be like the only place you go to in the game where you can like buy equipment, right? It's right next to a mountain, and the mountain is just full of enemies. And if you kill all the enemies, you can just buy all the equipment you need, and you'll be strong enough to just beat the game outright. So, like, scaling-wise, the game's a little strange in how it does that. And you get your first party member on the mountain, too. So, I read that the game, like, the difficulty of the game was supposed to be really high. But if you kind of path yourself through the game like this, and you just, like, go to the mountain and kill everything there, and then buy everything, the difficulty's just kind of not there.
Wow.
That being said, the game's only like 3 hours long, so it still ends up being really interesting. One of the core mechanics of the game is whenever you die, you don't just like respawn at your home or like at the last place you saved or whatever. Instead, you go to the land of the dead, which is just this beautiful beach, just full of like fishes flopping around on the ground talking to you. And the first time it happens, admittedly, when you first come into the game and you just are using the equipment you found in your house, which was just like toilet paper you made armor out of, and like a gun with no bullets, and like a couple of other things. I think you like pick up a trash can lid for a shield. Anyways, you probably are going to die to the first enemy you come across, because there isn't an enemy in the game that is like weaker than you, critically. And I think that's important because it shows you the Land of the Dead mechanic, where when you come here, you can throw things into this meat grinder, and it permanently increases your health. And also, you meet a lot of fish that will tell you, like, hey, I need dynamite to get through this wall. I think there's something behind here, and stuff like that. So you'll know, hey, if I die later on in the game, I can come back here and, like, do a couple of things I need to do here.
Interesting.
There's one area of it where it's like, die 3 times and you'll be allowed to come through here, and you'll be able to find like a strong weapon behind this place, that sort of thing. So the game expects you to die a lot so you can upgrade yourself and so that you can like talk to the NPCs here.
Is that where the difficulty came in? Is it possible to beat it without dying?
Probably.
Well, maybe it just makes you want to die more.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the opposite. It's like, it doesn't have to be hard, but you want to die.
Oh.
The
Even though
main,
you don't have to.
The main benefit for dying, honestly, is just throwing things in the meat grinder. Just increasing your maximum health. And if you're not dying, you don't need more maximum health, so you don't end up increasing it. So it ends up being like this thing that sort of modulates the difficulty.
Fair logic.
The thing is, the game like gives you the strongest move in the game right at the start, because it's the first move that Wayne, the main character, starts with. It's Wayne's signature move, which is a hypnosis that puts all enemies to sleep. And what's interesting about like having you start with this move and making it so ridiculously overpowered is it's telling you, use this at the start of a fight and you'll be allowed to choose how you want to handle the fight. You'll get to choose which enemies you want to be tackling first. Because once all the enemies are asleep, you can then focus your party on taking out whichever one you want removed from the board. So like combat is interesting until, I don't know, until you got all your equipment bought and then you're just kind of stacked and overpowered. There's like an item that makes it so that you can hold 2 weapons, and there's no reason not to just like equip that and then 2 of the highest damage weapons in the game, and then you just kind of one-shot everything you come across.
Okay.
If you there's a move you can learn really early on in that like first combat area that is just like a quick attack. Basically, it's this move will come out first and deal double damage. So it costs like a lot of the equivalent of mana. I think it's called willpower, but it just is a you get to kill something for free before anyone goes button.
Oh.
So combat's a little wonky in this. I think the main reason for playing the game is just exploring this weird world, talking to people that you cannot understand a word they're saying, and just like when I come across an enemy, it's not like, oh, here's an interesting puzzle that I have to like solve. It's more of, that's an interesting enemy. I'm glad you showed me that game. I like that guy. I like the cut of that guy's animation sheet.
Oh wow.
Yeah, exactly.
It is very visually stimulating.
Mm-hmm.
And creative in a very, I don't know, broad definition.
It's so creative. I will say, though, it does... there's a little bit of dread that comes with, like, traveling around the game and solving rooms. Because, like, when you're playing an RPG Maker game, there's this instinct of, when I enter, like, a new screen, I'm going to interact with everything I can in here. Everything that can give me an item, I want to give me an item. Every enemy that I can kill, I'm going to go out of my way to kill. Every, like, button I can press, I'm going to press. And because the whole world is made of clay, usually when you interact with something, like let's say you walk up to a trash can to interact with it, a lot of times interacting with it is just like crushing it down into a mess. Sometimes when you interact with a tree, you'll get like a piece of food out of it. But interacting with a tree is just like crushing it into a little green ball. You're turning a very complicated and artistically interesting world into something a lot more flat and messy whenever you travel through a room. So it feels like when you've gone through a room and picked it apart, you've actually like picked it apart into like nothing. The only moving elements in a room are usually like the enemies there. And whenever you kill an enemy, it's just dead permanently. It's a mess on the floor now. That enemy will not respawn. It's gone. There's not an XP system. Instead,
does it just stay there?
Yeah.
Or does it go away eventually?
It just stays there.
Okay.
Instead, you just get like meat from them when they die, which is what you put in the grinder or their items. You do get XP at the end of the game for killing the boss, and that's the only time you ever level up. and then the game's over.
Really?
Yeah, which I found really funny. It's like, you killed Gibby, you got like 5 million XP, you're now like level 50.
That's hilarious.
End of game.
Damn.
Yeah, it's a very charming game. But because you're like moving from room to room and then just like obliterating the room and destroying everything in it and ransacking it, you feel like you're kind of a element out of the norm inside the world because nothing else is like destroying stuff like you are. You do feel kind of like a locust, the plague, you know? Especially since the last place you go to in the game, the moon, where you go to kill Gibby, the moon is like full of these like really strong looking
Gibby.
Named for the gibbous moon.
So you're killing the moon?
Well, you're killing the moon lord who's cast a curse onto the world.
Oh.
He's got his like moon temple guards, right, who walk up to you and they're like, hey, we can't let you through, we're gonna have to fight if you try. If you just walk into them, they explode. And I think it's the game trying to tell you you're really strong now. You've like worked your way to the last area, so now nobody can really stand against you. But it feels really bad because there's like 150 of these guys in here, and you just like run through the moon. You can't like not walk into them because they're like running around in your way. And it's just leaving like a trail of viscera. They're just like exploding as you walk through them. But yeah, I cannot shake this sense of dread. There's like one part of the world where you're traveling around and you see this like giant bundle of tentacles that's writhing across like the world map. And if you interact with it, it throws you into like a screen just like it does when you like interact with a town on the world map or whatever, where it's like you're at the location. And you see that like underneath this writhing thing of tentacles, there's like little pieces of loot that you can walk up as it moves around and try to swipe it before it moves back over it, right?
Okay.
But you can also like walk into the mass and that'll allow you to fight it. But like, I don't know, I felt really bad when I killed it because after the fight it just like stops moving. It goes from being this screen that's like really dynamic and animated to just like dead. And that's when I first started to feel a little bit freaked out by the effect that is just caught. Like, I don't think any of this is intentional. I think it's entirely caused by the fact that it's like really cool animation and that it's claymation, and that like it's being removed from the game as you pass through it. You know?
Yeah.
I might be crazy for this one.
No, I mean, especially in a world that it sounds like you're not getting to like interact with,
Yeah.
like on the same level.
Some of the only people that can like actually speak normal English at you are like guards put throughout the world by Gibby to just like guard a vault or guard a lever. And they're not like, hey, it's Wayne, let's get him. You like walk up and he's like, hey, it's my job to look after the lever. Please don't touch the lever. If you do, we're like probably gonna have to fight. But I really don't want to fight you. And then you can't progress unless you touch the lever. You have to kill like one of the only people that can speak like normal English in the setting. There's one part where there's like a guy guarding a vault. He's like, yeah, my like day job is just like guarding this vault. And then if you talk to him enough times, he's like, go away. Like, if you try to get into this vault, we're gonna have to fight. And the same thing happens. He like calls his dogs over. And now you have to kill the guy and his dogs to be able to get into the vault just for some loot.
The game's trying to make you feel like a jerk.
I don't think it's trying. I think it's inadvertently doing so.
Yeah.
I don't know. It sounds like it's on purpose to me.
With the writhing mass of tentacles, if you kill it before you get all the stuff when it's moving, does it just like lie on stuff or in a fixed position where you can't get
No,
that
you
move?
can get at it because it's not like it's a wall that's stopping you from moving in. It's just the threat of it attacking you.
Oh, okay.
But it's like there was this big thing that was moving across the landscape and alive, and now it's dead.
Yeah.
On a different note, I do really like how the game incentivizes backtracking a lot, because characters learn abilities from TV screens that teach them, and a TV screen doesn't go away, and you can teach them to future characters that you have join your party by traveling back to these areas. But what that does is it means you have to travel back through these rooms just full of corpses and like crushed boxes and trees and stuff, and go, wow, I'm kind of a dick, aren't I? Especially since it's all optional. You don't need to kill these enemies. You don't need to like loot all of these rooms, you can just ignore that and probably still get through the game fine.
So you say so you don't think any of that's intentional?
I don't think that's intentional. What I do think is intentional is there's this lab that you can go to get money, basically. Because there's a part of the game where you have to buy a spaceship from a hot dog stand that sells like $5 hot dogs and $1 million spaceship keys, which I love.
Just the keys?
Yeah, the keys to the spaceship.
Oh, okay.
And either you could have killed like every enemy along the way to get here. Oh, spilled a little bit of water. Sorry.
That's okay. Well,
Yeah.
Jamie, clean it up.
You could have killed like every enemy on the way here and got a lot of money, right? Or I think I just spilled it on my hand, honestly. Or
I see it on the ground.
oh,
It's okay. It doesn't matter.
I'm gonna set this on the table. So you could have killed every enemy on the way here and got all the money that they had, right? Or you could have gone to this lab where you show up and you find like these vats that have like people inside them, and the people in the lab go like, hey, we've like selected the perfect specimens for like extracting money from, and there's like a lever you can press and it like the person in the vat disappears and a giant stack of like millions of dollars appears next to the vat, and like you can press these buttons and it'll do exactly what you expect it to, and presumably it's killing these guys to give you the money. But like that isn't like, that's not discussed at all. That's like, or afterwards people don't like, the game doesn't acknowledge at all if you did it or didn't do it.
But you know.
But you know.
Sure, that
I think
feels
it's doing it
intentional.
all on purpose.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I think
I'm gonna play
it's
the
all
second game and I'll
intentional.
know.
Are you doing-
Yeah, I forgot there's a sequel.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I hear the sequel is a little bit easier to interpret.
But
But it's not like Undertale, where at the end of the game it's like acknowledging like
your
if
choices.
you chose to like kill people or if you chose to like not. That's entirely between the player and the game. Or I mean, that's entirely between the player and their own conscience. So playing the game in like a way that you appreciate personally as like a ideological approach is, I don't know, not because it's not engaged with by the game. It's not something you expect to have to think about.
I think the game probably engages with it at some extent, just because that's what you're interacting with. You know what I mean?
Again, it's so vague. I've got no idea if it's intentional.
But
I'm
again,
pretty sure
if,
it's intentional.
if it can be like super vague
If you
like
play
that,
it, you'll
but
get what I mean.
but
That it's
still
like
inspired.
impossible to know for sure if it's intentional or if it's just a product of how uncomfortable it is to destroy claymations.
But you can see everything being destroyed and whatnot, so I feel like it's intentional. It's just, it's on you, like
So
your
it's a-
headcanon.
It's a game that somebody put a lot of work and effort in to make, but every time you're interacting with it, you're destroying the world as you go along through it. And there's a lab where you can just make people disappear for money.
Yeah.
This sounds pretty sick,
Yeah.
actually.
Mm.
I don't know. I like that.
The
Rating?
game
Oh.
talks to you so little that it gives so much room for you to have to fill in with interpretation. So,
It could just be
Oh.
budget. Like, I mean, it's an RPG Maker game, so, you know.
but here's the thing: they're saying sentences. They're talking. He put in the time to create so many unique lines of dialogue, and none of them mean shit. But it feels like they probably do. It feels like he just ran it through a thesaurus, just cleverly enough to make it incomprehensible.
Yeah.
There's not like repeat lines anywhere. He like handcrafted gibberish, like 20 lines of gibberish for each of these characters.
But I think it is intentional, then it's just on you to, like, think about, like, what
Yeah.
have I done?
Which I do like that.
Yeah, I enjoy that. Because, yeah, when I play a game like that, even if the game doesn't acknowledge that I've done something bad, like, I know.
I'm gonna give it like a solid 8 out of 10 or so. I
Okay.
think
Respectable.
the only thing that holds it back for me is the game doesn't really engage me in like a gameplay kind of way. I don't have to like think about how I'm approaching things because there's like a correct way to approach things that will beat any encounter. And I'm not a big fan of that.
Okay.
Kind of like Pokemon.
Or Persona.
Yeah, Persona. I don't know. Like, I guess it can be like that, but it's a little more cut and dry in Pokemon. It's like,
That's fair.
you know, you're fighting a grass Pokemon, you gotta use a fire Pokemon.
Well, you do that. I think that's the mechanic that's the main thing you have to do. And like, as long as you have the types, have the right typing of move,
Yeah.
I think very little matters after that.
Yeah, makes it a little boring. I know there's like a lot more to it sometimes, but at the base core, that's all.
That's fair. Pokemon gets in depth. I don't know how some people do it. I think I'm too impatient to actually get into Pokemon. At least in a competitive way, I can bumble my way through a game.
Yeah, topic for another time.
Yeah.
Competitive Pokemon apps.
We don't want to talk about that.
I mean, yeah, of course we don't want to talk
I know
about
June,
that. Yeah.
June has a whole episode worth of ramblings about Pokemon.
I just don't understand it. It's too technical. I played Post Void, which is like a boomer shooter. It's roguelike. It might be roguelite, but basically there are like 11 levels that you have to get through. It's like a first-person shooter, and you always start with the same like handgun, and you're holding in your other hand. They call it the idol, but it's basically like this like clear head that has liquid in it. And then as you wait, the liquid like drains out of the idol, and it's basically your time limit. If you take damage, it takes liquid out of the idol. If you kill an enemy, it puts liquid back into the idol.
Okay.
It's very fluid. You are very quick when you want to be in this. So it just makes it... I'm pretty sure the levels are procedurally generated as well. So you're just like running very quickly down like these halls and like labyrinths, and you're trying to like... I don't know. It's almost like really good for like maybe not aim training, but as you're going around corners, like you know what to expect, like types of enemies to expect on specific levels. They add different stuff as you progress through them. I haven't actually gotten to the 11th level yet. I think I got to 9 or 10. I was very close, but it forces you to do like split-second decisions on whether I just passed that guy and I didn't kill him. Do I have enough liquid in my idol to get to the next enemy, or to the end of the level, or do I have to like turn around, shoot him quick, keep going? Like, it really makes you at every moment when you're interacting with something be like, do I just keep running, or is it more worth it for me to engage with this enemy? And most of the time, you're going to be like shooting enemy after enemy as soon as you see them. So when you do miss one, there's almost like this hesitation of like, oh, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you're not paying attention or you get turned around, because the levels get increasingly more complicated. And it's just most of it's like halls with like little dead ends sometimes in the earlier levels, but it starts getting like, there's a jump and a slide that you can utilize, and it starts getting like more three-dimensional. You can't really slide jump, no. But if you're fast enough, if you see an enemy, there's this one type that mainly you just see in the first level. It's like this big, like, almost like piranha plant shaped like head, it looks like, with just like teeth, right? Except it's like all black, and it's wearing like a black suit, and it just like has a handgun. So if you see it and you wait like a half a second for it to shoot and you go into the slide, the bullet will like go over you. So you can like time stuff like that. Sliding does make it faster, but it also, I don't know, it always takes like a warm up for me of like dying like 3 or 4 times, which goes quick. But just to like get a feel for the game again, because eventually you're just sprinting down, you're just holding forward, maybe tapping sprint whenever you need to, but then just bam 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 shooting enemies. And as soon as you click that start button, there's like a this like electric guitar riff that's very like bam 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 bam, just like all. It's somewhat monotonous. It doesn't get like old because you get so locked in of just like going around the corners, lining up, shooting, and continuing. But it fits really well. When you make it to the end of a level, usually you have to jump up, and it's just like this pool like on the ground that you dive into. And I think there's like a liquidy like water sound effect and like some bubbles, and it has like almost like, oh gosh, like surf rock, like on the guitar as you do that. So you make it through the first level, you jump into that pool, and it gives you 3 different options for what you want. I think the things you can do is change your gun. There's a shotgun, an Uzi, or you can stick with what you want. Those will just come up randomly. Oh, there's also a knife. I have not found much luck with the knife. You can extend your magazine so you don't have to reload as much. Honestly, reloading isn't that big of a thing unless you are like have 1 bolt left, don't manage to kill an enemy, and you are like decide to engage with it. Then it can be like a little bit annoying. Most of the time, it's not going to affect you, but it doesn't add that much of a bonus. I don't usually choose to reload faster. There's a compass because the levels get kind of difficult to go through, especially if you try and engage with some enemies. You might lose track of where you're going, so that's helpful. There's a bigger idol to hold more liquid, and what else? There's something else. I don't know. It's very simple mechanics, but it turns into like as soon as you like die, you're just like hitting start again. You'll get like locked into like a 20 or 30 minute session of just like doing it again, doing it again. Very, very similar. It feels very, very similar to that.
But first person. Is it like, what's the style? Is it like space or something? Or
it is the most. When I say liminal space, you like think of like back rooms, right? Usually it's a toned down like type of style, right? Where it's like off, but also like a little creepy. I feel like usually a lot of color is taken out of that, or it's like eerie places that are like another one, like Exit 8, where it's just like tiles or something like that. This is the exact opposite. It's like if you could make Hotline Miami, like it's that vibrant and bright of colors, but if you made that liminal and just like monstery, I don't really know what it's going for. You kind of just have to see it. When you die, it like I'm gonna try and look up a animation. It's almost doomy as far as like the backgrounds, like blurriness.
But it's like hand drawn. Huh. That's cool.
But yeah, you see very little detail on this sort of stuff most of the time. That's like what the first level looks like.
Yeah.
But they also change, like that's like the 4th or 5th level. It's like this green with the orange floor. I'd like to see like later levels. But it's very like boxy. See right there, you could jump up through that. So it gets, sometimes it's only like a square wide. So you get to like this one place and you don't know where you're at, and you have to run down a random hall, look up and see there's like somewhere to go there. So it can get like kind of confusing, especially when they're just, I think, randomly generated. It's very weird. You can one-shot these guys if you do it like a headshot. Most of the things you can one-shot. But you have to be very precise about it, or you can just like shoot a bunch more with like the Uzi. I don't like the shotgun. I don't like the knife. Sometimes I'll take this. But it gets very fast, very repetitive. It's
What is... Wait, so the thing that's holding the liquid, that just look like a head?
Yeah, it's just a head.
Oh.
It might be your head. I'm not certain. Oh, that's it, almost empty.
You were saying something
Wait.
about the death screen?
The death screen is wild because it goes, you have a frame of black and then a bunch of other frames that are like in really fast succession of like bright colored drawings on a black background, but just like flip like through them. You're like, some of it are almost like a boom pow, like old cartoon, like seeing stars like type of shit. Others are just like silhouettes of like a creepy looking like person in a suit. I don't know.
Is it supposed to tell like a story or something?
It's unintelligible. There's a little blip right at the front of the game that's like, this is post void or something. I didn't end up reading it. I accidentally clicked on it when I was loading into the game, and it hasn't done it again for me. It didn't look like it said too much. I did look it up again. I forget. You can kind of tell what stage you're on via how the what the level looks like.
Yeah.
It's a later one.
Okay.
Some areas are blocked off, and you just have to shoot your way through this like meat wall.
Meat wall.
Yeah. Oh, here's a picture of like the pool that you dive into at the end of each level.
Do you have to like reload it all, or does you gotta just go?
If you shoot your last bullet, it will reload automatically, but you can absolutely reload with R. It's a pretty fast reload. It's only annoying at very specific moments. Oh, there's one that makes your bullets ricochet. There's one that makes enemies explode, which I don't... That doesn't do much. I would love to... let me look up Post Void.
Did you ever look at, I think it was called like Mullet Jack or something?
It kind of similar to that. Wolfenstein Miami, someone called it. I could see that. I really want to find a video of someone dying. Very wild
Bad
looking.
post-void gameplay.
But you have that like flicker of like images on a black background.
Yeah.
That goes through, and then you're just struck with like a white screen. It's like pale, and it has like cyan, magenta, and yellow, like little like it's an off-white. It's kind of grainy. It's different values of like white and light gray. So it just like has a texture to it, and then in those are like those little like CMYK. It's very TV staticky, right? And then there are these like bloodshot eyes that just like open up randomly like throughout that ending screen, like and slowly close again. It's very like I said, liminal, only a little bit creepy, but very cool, very vibrant. Only $4.99. I thought this was just going to be something that, you know, it's all right, you know,
Yeah.
little boomer shooter, not like super unique or anything. I have played this multiple times just out of my own volition,
Yeah.
and probably would continue to.
So,
I don't know. You get locked in. It's very fast. It's very fun. I think you would have a good time
This
with
strikes
it.
me as the kind of game that you have to get so locked in on.
You can, but again, if you do, you can beat it in like... I think you could probably beat it in less than a day. You know? If you gave it like
What
two...
does that mean?
If you give it like 2 or 3 hours, I think you could just beat the game. Because I think
It's
you're
right
better
up
at
your
the
alley.
boomer
I
Boomer
think
shooter.
you're
shooter.
overestimating.
You play
No.
like what's that other boomer shooter that people like? You keep telling me to play it, and I haven't yet.
You need to play Forgive Me, Father.
No, well, that's not it.
That's not it.
No, it's the robot one.
Robot one?
Robot one.
Ultra Kill?
Yeah, you play like Ultra Kill and stuff like that, which I think is
Yeah.
also pretty fast, pretty quick. I think you could just, you know, if you locked
Oh,
in, you
it's
could beat it really fast.
transferable.
if anyone can do it, it would be you.
Alright.
I think you would. I think you would like it.
Here, let me download it.
I would
You'd
give it
probably
a
beat
shot,
it.
but it doesn't seem like I'd be able to do good at it. I don't know.
It's very fun. It's very like if I want to burn like 20 minutes.
Y'all want to
Yeah,
close the
get
night out by
pretty
just playing some Post Void?
You should try. I will absolutely recommend you play Post Void right now. I thought it was just going to be like a whatever, like a little $5 what is that called? Roguelike?
Yeah.
And it is. For all it's worth. I think it is. But there is something about it that is very hypnotic. It's fun. And I've returned to it multiple times. And probably will keep returning to it. I really, really enjoyed it. And for the amount of money that it was, I was insanely shocked.
Better than Chuzzle.
Better than Chuzzle? Chuzzle
Really?
holds such... No, it was a question. Better than Chuzzle. I'm thinking about it. I don't think the games are comparable.
Is it better than...
Better than the Cat Finder game, whatever.
Cat Finder? It's better than the Cat Finder game. I did really like that one, though.
Is it better than Roller Coaster Tycoon 1?
Did we do... Oh, no,
we
I
did,
just had
but
2 games.
I'm just asking.
Is it better? No. I think Roller Coaster Tycoon is better.
All right, you're on Bargain Bin 4, while we're on Bargain Bin 3 over here. I should have done 2 games to catch up. I should have done 3 games.
Well, I really wanted to do one. Plus, again, the cat game, I think, was a major cop-out.
No,
but
if you think about it, Ubermosh was like 5 games, so...
that's true. You're on,
Yeah.
what, 9?
7.
7. What was the first? Better than Chuzzle? Chuzzle holds such a special place in my heart, and I think Chuzzle's absolutely worth $5. But at the same time, I think there's more replayability in Post Void, just because you can keep returning to it. Eventually, with Chuzzle, unless you just want to keep playing like that main mode to get the highest score or whatever, which is essentially what you're doing in Post Void. There you can run out of content with that.
Yeah, I was just joking.
Oh.
Obviously.
Compared to all my past games, yeah. So far I like Post Void the best.
It's the most current game
Hey,
that you picked.
Well, you're look. I really wanted to do City Skylines.
Oh my gosh!
Not City Skylines, SimCity 3000. They updated SimCity 2000 and just released it for PC. Also, I believe $4.99. So, I wanted to do that one too, and that is a great game that holds up.
What do you rate Post Void?
Post Void, I'm not going to give it a 10 out of 10. I don't think it's a 10 out of 10 game, but
you need to leave a little room for better games.
I would do an 8, maybe even a 9. It's somewhere in there.
All right.
It's very enjoyable. It's not a long game from what I can tell, and there are moments where I just had to get up from it and go,
yeah.
Let me see if I have any other notes on this. I think the pixelation of the graphics and how it all blends together with the speed in it also really lends itself to an imaginative feeling. I think older games, you know that stuff where you see the pixel art versus how it looked on like a tube television?
Yeah.
What is that?
Where it loses some of the
yeah, it softens it and stuff. I almost feel
the scan lines help pixel art try to add definition in.
I almost feel like there is some of that is not that exactly, but something very similar with Post Void, where it understands how detailed it needs to be, as far as the enemies and the environments, and then your imagination just kind of fills in the rest. Not that if you don't stop and look at stuff, that it's not interesting, but for a game that doesn't give you that time to do that, I don't know. It's also it doesn't lose.
It just has
out on that.
Yeah, it has that old school feel.
So,
it's made to be going really fast, so they don't. I don't know. Too many details probably slow down.
Yeah, I think that's it.
All right, good bargain bin.
Good bargain bin.
Good bargain bin.
What are we doing next time?
I don't know.
I do have
a tabletop game.
We could. I still need some more time to prep.
Yeah, I might want to run something.
Yeah?
There's just so many good old games.
Yeah.
Tabletop for Halloween?
We could. I would love to run Mothership for Halloween.
Mothership.
I have lots of different stuff that I can run for Halloween.
Too.
Do you
We
want
could
to run
do
a
lots
tabletop?
of different Halloween stuff.
We could do a tabletop Halloween extravaganza.
We
where
could
each
do.
bring something. Some short stories.
Yeah, I could whip something up.
Well, yeah, we could just do multiple stuff. We could have some guest appearances, maybe.
We
We
should-
might need some more players.
We
We
should
might need
stream
some
Nightmare
players.
Cart.
Huh? We should stream Nightmare
I
Card.
don't know what that is.
It is like Mario Kart, or actually, it's a lot like Kirby Air Ride because it's got like some. It's got game modes outside of like racing where you're using like the cart controls to like fight a boss and shit like that.
Oh, I did not know that.
There's a 2-phased boss in it. I didn't get very far in the game, but I did get through that boss. And it's got the aesthetics of Bloodborne.
Anyways.
It was originally going to be Bloodborne Kart, but
Oh, you're talking about the Bloodborne thing?
yeah,
They got sued over finally.
Hmm?
I
Wait,
think they finally got sued over it.
but they have been Nightmare Cart for a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah, but like,
it's
You
so
know.
cool, Jack. And it's free, I believe, if I remember correctly.
Come on, look, if FromSoft isn't willing to put its game on other platforms,
Did they?
they are. It's just they're stuck in some legal battle stuff.
with what? With what?
Bloodborne.
Well, how so?
I don't know the specifics. I just know that it's like some legalities that's holding them back.
Ugh.
Hmm.
Boo. Look, I'm just saying. Look, if they've got George R. R. Martin money, you know, figure that shit out.
Hey, not all the money in the world can overcome some fucking lawyer paperwork shit.
Yeah,
Sometimes.
yeah. There's a lot of tactics to just bog stuff down too. I know of, but frustrating.
Yeah.
Cart game in its absence.
So,
So,
yeah,
So?
we talked about Musashi versus Cthulhu,
10 out of 10.
Hylics,
7 out of 10. Wait,
Hylics?
8 out of 10?
Question mark?
and Post Void. 3
8 out
good
of 10.
games, $5 each.
$4.99.
Like $3 for Hylics.
$3 for Hylics, probably.
Steal.
Go check those out, listener.
Yeah.
Woo.
Also, yeah, in the last bargain bin, I made like a little poll, like which one do you want to play, and I'll do another one for this episode.
Did Zorch get any votes?
I mean, as of the time of recording, there's only one vote, and it's mine.
And it's for Zorch,
No
right?
one's voted yet. If you're listening on Spotify, you can vote. I don't know
Wait,
about
Jack,
anything
what
else.
did you vote
I'm going to
for?
go on Spotify. and
Oh,
vote.
I voted for my game.
That you just want to play
Which-
your game again?
Was
Okay, what was your game?
Shoot, what was your last game?
I don't remember it, but I think it was
Fuck.
the haunted house one.
it was a haunted one. I don't even remember now.
Oh yeah,
Also mixed media-ish.
yeah.
Yeah, that game.
I don't know if I
You
can play
already
that because
played
I don't
that
have a
game.
How did I
PS5.
forget? I don't know. I forgot. But anyways, that was a good bargain bin.
Bargain bin.
Bargain man.
Goodbye, listeners.
Bye bye, listeners.
Goodbye.
Thank you for joining us.
I've been Noah.
I've been Jack.
I've been
Nice. And
June.
This
you're
is-
listening, huh?
Well, what?
And this has been.
June.
Oh,
This has been a Rogues Nerd reproduction.
Rogues Nerdery.
Rogues Nerdery.
How do we
Nerds
end it?
are
I
over it.
forget.
And
I don't know.
cut.
Oh yeah, we
We're
do
usually
do a
just
synonymous thing.
Talking shit.